Hey guys, it's your favorite Unk here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button below so you don't miss a single episode of Nightcap. That button right here. Come for the sports, stay for the stories. Jets believe Mecole Hardman leaked game plans to the opponents out of spite. The Jets believe Hardman leaked the game plan to the Chiefs and the Eagles before their game October. Lord forbid that quarterback is terrible. But anyway, it's being reported that they have valid. Hold on. It's being reported that the Jets have validated beliefs that Hardman, frustrated by his lack of usage, leaked game plan to the opposition, as implied by several players today, like Sauce Gardner and Kenny Yabo. Not just the Eagles game, but also the Chiefs. Ironically, if the Chiefs did leak the game plan, then it may have not worked too much because the Jets beat the Eagles. The Jets played their two best games. Guess what? Against the Eagles and the Chiefs. But anyway, we will keep on, Ocho. New York handed the Eagles the only loss over the first 11 games, beating them 20-14. So we're going to disregard the quarterback that you guys have given permission to his agent to seek a trade.
That's now, my dog.
It wasn't him. It was Mecole Hardman leaking that game plan. He's like, y'all got a quarterback. So whatever you might telling me, if I do what y'all telling me, I'm going to be wrong because I already know he can't throw anyway. Right. He can't read defenses anyway. Why am I going to listen to you?
He can. It's hard to read defenses when everybody on your ass as soon as you snap the ball, but that's neither here nor there. This don't really make no sense to me because when opposing team has a game plan and the opposing team knows what you're doing, regardless, it's 11 players on the field, right?
Right.
When the ball snaps, it's 1v1 outside of the D tackle that most of the time has to deal with a double team. Coverage is coverage. If you got one-on-one, if you got cover 3, you got man-to-man, and you got to win your individual battle. So even if you know what I'm doing, I still got to beat you regardless. Right. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I'm not even going to bring up the bullshit I used to do, but it shouldn't matter. I don't care if you have my game plan. I'm still going to whoop your ass when that motherfucking ball snaps. That mentality has to be in every single player in every single snap, no matter what. They watch film on you already. They know your tendencies already. So they watch film for a week before you play. All of a sudden, them having the game plan is supposed to make that big of a difference when they got damn footage on you the last 4 games before we play each other. It shouldn't matter. It don't matter.
But I'm trying to figure out, Ocho, if he was upset with his usage, how could he look the game plan? He ain't on the field. So what? He turned the game. So in other words, he faxed or emailed a game plan to the DCs of the opposing team. Obviously, in Kansas City, he would have probably more connections. So is that what you're accusing him of doing?
Right.
Because, look, I get it. If they get the playbook, the Tennessee Titans ended up thieves. They stole our playbooks the last time. They stole Trent Dilfer's playbook. Now, if you get that quarterback playbook, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
His playbook is a little different than ours, don't you?
Right.
So if you get that, you can do a lot of things. Yeah. But I tell you what, I think Mecole Hardman need to stop talking. He went on a Ryan Clark's podcast, The Pivot. He, Shannon, and Fred Taylor do a great job with their podcast. And he's talking about how he told Pat and Brett Veach to come get him. And then 2 weeks later, bruh, you're doing too much. You caught the game-winning touchdown. Maybe the Jets are upset at that because you weren't catching anything in New York. It was a disaster for both sides. You were unhappy, whatever the case may be.
Right.
The Jets didn't get what they thought. You didn't get what you thought. But bro, stop talking.
Hey, listen. The man has a ring now. He has a ring now, and I think it's pretty cool, obviously, for him to be able to tell his story, be able to tell his experiences that we didn't know about. About the troubles that he had in New York.
Yes.
And obviously, when all the stuff, and again, just back to the game plan stuff, which was the basis or the topic we were talking about. It just, to me, honestly, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter because even if you know what I'm doing, I'm finna whoop your ass at the snap of the ball. That's maybe my mindset. Maybe other people maybe want an advantage as far as the opponent not knowing what's coming or what you're doing. But listen, they watch film, they study you all week long. We know your tendencies. When you line up, you only change. There's only certain things that change. Salad dressing, different formation, but all the plays is basically it is what it is. You ain't doing that much different when it's time to play.
My only thing is when he fumbled that ball in Buffalo, why didn't y'all say this? Y'all started talking crazy when the man won the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, he fumbled up when remember you and I got all over
trying to dive.
Yeah. I was like, bro, why are you trying to reach the ball back and fumble the ball? Blah, blah, blah. Look, so my thing is, look, just stop talking. You had, look, it didn't work out for you at the Jets. It didn't work out for them. You got an opportunity to return home where you started your career, and you're very fortunate you parlayed that into a Super Bowl. So now you have 3 Super Bowls, and you caught the game-winning touchdown, so you're going to be immortalized in Kansas City lore for perpetuity,
forever.
So just let it go. You don't have to talk about your time, and I was frustrated, and they promised me this, and they did that. Bro, let it go. You won. You won. You got an opportunity to return to Kansas City. You caught the game-winning touchdown from Pat Mahomes, the best quarterback of his generation, has an outside. He has a great chance to be the greatest quarterback ever, and you caught the game-winning touchdown. Let it go. You won.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, Ocho? You won.
You're right. Can we get back on topic of my dude, Zach Wilson?
Okay. Here we go. Jets give Zach permission to seek a trade. The Jets have given quarterback Zach Wilson permission to seek a trade, unless the Jets are willing to pick up most of Zach Wilson's fully guaranteed compensation package for 2024. The Jets will be stuck with him. They'll eventually cut him or keep him and pay him more than $5.4 million in 2024. Unless the Jets are willing to give someone else draft picks to take on the full $5.4 million, no one is going to touch that salary. Really, would you pay him for 1 year based on what you've seen through 3? That's a question for you.
Yeah, goddamn right. For one, part of the problem is all the untapped potential that Zach Wilson has been wasted. Let's start there.
Yeah,
let's start there.
It's a draft pick, but okay, go ahead.
Again, all the untapped potential that is in Zach Wilson has been wasted in New York City. And let me finish. And the potential that he does have, the Zach Wilson that I and others that are fans of his are used to seeing when he was at BYU, would be put on display when he goes somewhere else.
He ain't at BYU.
I heard what you just said. That's why I said wasted untapped potential in New York.
Let me ask you a question.
Which has happened to how many quarterbacks that have come through there? Let's name that. Let's go through that.
So let me ask you this. What makes you think that talent you can get to that talent? There might be oil in my backyard, but if I can't get to it, what good is it? Well, he might have the potential. He might have ability, but if you can't extrapolate it out of him, what good is it?
Well, how can he extrapolate out of him? Because every time he hiked the ball, he on his head. Shit, you couldn't do it either. Listen, Jesus himself, God forgive me, could have came down and been the quarterback for the Jets this year, and he would have flipped the table over like he did with the 12 disciples, because there wasn't no way he gonna get that ball off. And I'm saying this in all respect, as a Christian man that got baptized but is wearing off.
Ocho, I just hate that you pin all your hopes and you put all you put everything.
I love him. I love Zach Wilson to death, and wherever he goes, I go.
Guess what?
Wherever he goes, I go.
Ocho, you've had plenty of girlfriends that you loved, but you realized they weren't any good for you or to you, and you let them go.
Yeah. Or maybe
at some point in time, you're going to have to come to that realization.
Listen, but I'm also going to come to the realization, all the quarterbacks that have come through New York, they always blame the quarterbacks. At no point are we going to turn around and look the person in the mirror. That's the real problem. And maybe it's the organization. Maybe it's the organization. Wait, let me finish.
Because they keep selecting the wrong quarterbacks.
No, that's not it. It ain't the quarterback all the time. Sometimes you got to take accountability. Sometimes women continue to date the same kind of man over and over and over, knowing, you know what? He ain't no good for you.
You just made my point, Ocho. They keep selecting the same sorry type of dude. The Jets keep selecting the same sorry type of quarterback.
No, they don't know what to do with these individuals when they get them, and that's the problem.
Well,
that's the problem.
See, that's the best part about it, because a lot of times we'll see guys go to other teams, and we'll see. So what happens if he goes to another? If he goes to another team, then what are you going to say? If it looks just like he did with the Jets, it's their fault. Okay, he goes to another team and he looks like he did with the Jets and the team that he left, and he looks like that with the third team. Then what are you going to say?
It won't. That's the problem. It won't. It won't, and I guarantee you it won't. I put anything on that, it won't. I put anything on that, it won't. You tell me what you want me to bet. I will never do it.
You ain't paid me from the previous 2 bets. This is what I know. When teams believe that you are what you say you are or what you think you are, they will pick up that contract with no problem.
And you know what? You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? Now let's go back and look at film on the New York Jets. Let's look at film when Aaron Rodgers took snaps, 3 or 4, I'm not sure how many it was, and was running for his life before he could even drop back. So we expected Zach Wilson to come into play and all of a sudden be the savior for the New York Jets. Like,
no,
come on, man.
Aaron Rodgers supposed to have got rid of the ball. He know damn well he cannot have a slant or a stop on one side
and look one side
and go all the way backside. That's what happens.
Right.
He is too veteran, too seasoned of a quarterback to make a rookie bull jive mistake like he made. Mm-hmm. That was not the offensive line fault. That was Aaron Rodgers' fault. Go back and watch the tape. I
remember the play.
He has a hitch or a slant on one side, and he says, no, it's not there, and he comes all the way back. You never do that. You either stay here, dump it to the back on the curl, the check, or you throw it out of bounds. You don't work one side on a 3-step and then come all the way back, because the guy on the backside, he cut, because they don't know which side you're going to throw the ball to. All they know is a 3-step drop. So 1, 2, 3, I'm trying to get the DN's hand down. So once I get his hand, I chop. I'm thinking you throwing the ball. So what you think the guy's gonna do? The DN. I was like, he ain't throw it. Well, let me go get him.
All right. We gonna see.